Be the exception.
Hello and welcome. My name is Darren Hardy, and let me tell you why we're here. This particular training video came about after I had lunch with a friend of mine. It had been a long time since we had caught up because, as he put it, he had been crazy busy. But it was when he told me what he was doing to be so busy that I ran him through a little process that I have that seemed to help. Apparently, this was so profound for him that he called 3 weeks later to tell me that it had, quote unquote, radically transformed his life. He said he went from feeling stressed and bored by his business to feeling invigorated and loving it again. He had previously been so frustrated, so unhappy, that he'd actually been contemplating shutting his business down and leaving the industry entirely. So obviously, this was definitely a complete 180 shift in attitude. Then he told me about his new results, which had skyrocketed since our lunch. He reported how he launched a huge new opportunity since our time together, which he said wouldn't have been possible for him to pull off before. So to top that off, he also reported that he's been able to actually work less than he was before, or at least stop overworking, and is now finally getting his health and relationship with his wife and kids back on track, which I was most delighted to hear about. And that is why we're here. Dave's results were so incredible and so inspiring to me that I was encouraged to share this little process that I have here with more people. And that means now you. I figure if you experience just a fraction of what Dave has, this will be a very valuable meeting the two of us are having here right now. Now, understand, Dave is in the real estate business, but it doesn't matter what business you are in, or even if you are a business owner or an employee. The key principles and takeaways are exactly the same. I will be using the conversation that I had with Dave just to illustrate the process here. Okay? Great. So just follow along here. We met at one of my favorite places on the beach near our other home in Cardiff by the Sea, San Diego, called Kai's. It's a great, healthy food spot with an epic ocean view. We ordered our lunch at the counter, then we walked upstairs to the tables with the whitewater ocean vista views and the sweet smell of the Pacific Ocean pouring through the windows. We found the best table in the joint and sat down, placing our food order number stand in the middle of the table. And that is when I asked, "So, Dave, what are you so busy doing?" "Everything," he responded. "Well, what does everything mean?" I asked. And that is when he went down his laundry list. He said, "Well, last night I was up till 1:30 in the morning trying to finish up a direct mail piece that had to go out this morning. It was already 2 weeks late." I had to interrupt him by asking, "What? You mean you were literally stuffing envelopes yourself at 1 a.m. in the morning?" "Yeah, it was the only way I knew for certain it was going to get done, and done right," Dave said in a very crabby tone. Sensing he really didn't know how nuts this sounded, I asked him to continue. And he said, "I had to get up extra early to set up the files for a new escrow that I got yesterday. That was before I was sitting at FedEx office at 6 a.m. this morning, printing the flyers for a broker tour that I have to open later today. Oh, and get this." He pulled out of his journal 3 sheets of paper. "This is the sign-in sheet from the open house I did on Sunday. These are all the leads that I have to enter into my database to follow up on. And now it's Wednesday, so these are probably already dead." I could see the stress all over his face. I asked, probably sounding too incredulous, "You enter all those names, phone numbers, email addresses into your database yourself?" "Yes," he said, probably too loud, so I looked around to see if anybody was glaring at us. "The last time I had somebody else do it, they totally screwed it up," he said. "It doesn't really take me that long. I just have to get to it." I could see that he really didn't know how insane he sounded. So I had to have him hear himself for himself. So I asked him, "Hey, how are your date nights going with your wife? The last time we talked, you were going to get a babysitter once per week and do something just the two of you." Yeah, well, that hasn't happened in 3 months," Dave replied. "Ouch," I said. "Well, how about the half marathon you said you were going to do? How's the training going?" Already knowing what the answer was going to be. "Well, let's just say I bought a great pair of running shoes, but they've never been out of the box. I'm just too busy." he exclaimed, trying to defend himself. My business is growing, which is exciting, but it has definitely been all-consuming. One final twist of the knife, just to be sure I had his attention. Well, what about a vacation? You got anything fun, planned, and coming up? What? This time, he definitely said it too loud. I can't even think about taking time off. I'm barely keeping up as it is. And one more twist, just to be sure. Well, how does your wife feel about all this? I asked. Yeah, she's really PO'd at me, Dave said, and she finally got fed up. She and the kids are going to Florida next month to visit her mom and to go to Disney World without me. Ouch, I said again. Then testing to see if he even wanted any advice, I asked, hey, if you're willing to play along with something, I think I might be able to help offer a suggestion or two. Are you up for it? Sure, he said cautiously. Well, slide your journal over to me and I'll write it right in here. So what's your revenue goal this year? I asked. Proudly, he exclaimed, I'm shooting for $1 million this year and I'm right on track. I said, couldn't helping myself. Great. Let's cut that in half due to the divorce, and we can use the other half to fund your funeral. What? He said. I said, at the rate you're going, man, you'll soon be divorced and certainly dead. But never mind that for now. I asked, okay, for easy math, let's just assume that after you pay your broker split, your office fees, your board fees, advertising, marketing costs, car, gas, all the expenses to operate your business to generate that $1 million in gross revenue, let's say generously that you walk away with $500,000 EBITDA, meaning pre-tax. Is that fair enough? He agreed. Okay. That means that if you take $500,000 and you divide it by the number of hours that you're supposed to be working, not your current path headed towards divorce course, your son on the psychiatric couch and your daughter on the pole, and you dead of a heart attack, that real number should be 2,000. You have 2,000 working hours per year to invest in order to generate that $1 million in revenue, in order to take home that $500,000 pre-Uncle Sam's cut. You with me, I asked? He nodded. That means $500,000 divided by 2,000 equals $250 per hour. Dave, your time has to be worth $250 an hour. Every hour, hour over hour, 8 hours a day, every workday. Every hour you have to be doing something that someone would pay you $250 an hour to do. Something you'd pay somebody $250 an hour to do. Every hour you don't, you are literally losing money and going backwards on your goal. I could tell this kind of blew his mind. So I asked, look, it's simple math here. The only way you can generate $1 million in revenue so that you can take home $500,000 is by spending each of those 2,000 hours on something worth $250 an hour, and or create a system that generates a value of $250 an hour, hour over hour. His head nod indicated that he was starting to get it. So I continued. Right now, your only system is you, and you are doing a lot of work that is not worth $250 an hour, which means you are trying to make up for it by robbing time and energy from your life's other priorities, your health, your family, your kids, your friends, and even your faith. You might think that your business is successful because it's generating income, but on the life wheel, man, you are failing, buddy, big time. You have a wheel with one spoke, financial, at the cost of all the other spokes. That's not a wheel, that's a pogo stick. And it's no wonder why you are exhausted. And like anyone on a pogo stick, it is not a matter of if you're going to fall, just when and how much it's going to hurt. Let me ask you this. Would you pay somebody $250 an hour to stuff direct mail letters? Would you pay someone $250 an hour to prepare and print flyers or input names into your contact information database? Would you even pay somebody $250 an hour to sit in a broker's open, drop papers off at the title company, or refill the flyers at your listings? Heck no, he said. I smiled, knowing that I had him at check. Well, you are, man. When you do it, that is exactly how much it costs you. We just did the math. You have a $250 an hour person stuffing your envelopes, doing data entry, and playing messenger service. You get that? He nodded sheepishly. Look, if you paid someone $25 an hour to do it, you'd still make the $225 an hour difference between your $250 an hour wage and their $25 an hour expense by not doing it yourself. Now, for checkmate, I asked, do you like doing those things? Stuffing envelopes, doing data entry, standing in FedEx office at 6 a.m.? Is that what you love about your business? Things you do for fun as a hobby, even if they didn't pay you? Hell no, he said, this time way more aggro. I hate those things. It's why I was going to leave this business entirely. I hate dealing with a million little never-ending pesky details. It's drudgery for me. But somebody has to do them, he said, continuing to try to defend himself. Yeah, but not by you, I said. You are too valuable. You are the rainmaker for the business. Your time has to be spent on more valuable functions, specifically $250 an hour functions, in order to hit your goal. Now, let's get to the money-making side of the business, I said. Let me ask you this. How do you make money? When do you get paid? He said, when I sell real estate, when an escrow closes. Okay, then I said, let's find out exactly what you do to make it rain. The most important functions that drive the outcome of real estate being sold and an escrow closing. Now, for those listening here, follow this line of questioning because a key point here will be it is not the end transaction that is typically the rain-making activity. That is the result of the activity. That is the rain. But to make it rain usually is a critical factor upstream, a function that the rainmaker performs that controls whether it rains or whether there is a drought. So for Dave, since he primarily represents listings, for him, it was a listing that he secures that then sells. So I asked, where do your listings come from? He said, well, from either a past client by referral, expired listings, or from marketing leads. So we figured out that his three vital functions, the things that he does, that when he does these excellently, he makes it rain. He sells real estate, escrows close, and he gets paid. Those three vital functions for Dave were: one, prospecting, whether calling past clients, talking to their referrals, or talking to pre-qualified prospects who came through his marketing filters. Not stuffing envelopes, posting on Facebook, or writing on his blog, by the way. Two, doing listing presentations so that he can get more listings that ultimately sell. And number three, negotiating contracts so that he can get them into escrow that ultimately sell. So I explained everything else you do outside of those three vital functions is not what you're supposed to be doing. That costs you potential. You lose money every hour you are not doing one of those three vital functions. Then he asked me the question that you probably have in your head right now as well. But how do you get everything else done? Because a lot of other things still need to get done. That's what he asked. That is when I told him about my friend, Ken Fisher. Ken is on the Forbes 400 list. He runs $100 billion investment firm and has a personal net worth of $4 billion, again, with a B. Ken started at the bottom, like the rest of us. He grew up where I did, the Bay Area of San Francisco. He then went to the not very Ivy League University of Humboldt State to study forestry, which in Humboldt can mean, well, never mind. He started his business at a financial advisory firm, like we all start, by himself at zero. When I interviewed him for Succes several years ago, I asked him, so Ken, how did you do it? How did you go from a one-man band to a $100 billion under management firm? How did you go from a personal net worth of zero to $4 billion? He said simply and flatly, by quitting. I learned to quit. Now, his explanation of this has really stuck with me, still to this day. So pay close attention here. He said, quote, whatever you are doing in your business right now, your goal is to find a way to quit it. You need to stop doing almost everything you're doing at the office, end quote. During our interview, he could see that I was perplexed by this whole idea, as I'm sure you are now. So he explained further. Let me pass it along. Once the founder, he said, has the vision, the key to succeeding on that vision is to delegate, and delegate as much as possible, as fast as possible. Delegation is a form of quitting. The fact is, even if you are the most well-rounded and capable founder, CEO, and rainmaker of all time, you are still better off delegating functions off to specialists, people better at specific roles. This allows you to multiply the size of your endeavor through other people's efforts rather than trying to do everything yourself. You want to give up every part of your job as fast as you can. Ken explained further. Look, when you first start a business, it is likely that you're going to have to do everything. The sales, the customer service, the accounting, all the way down to taking out the trash. Your goal is to get the sales going, get enough money coming in so that you can quit taking out the trash and hire someone else to do that job. Get some more sales going, more revenue coming in, then quit doing the accounting. Hire a specialist to do that job. Get some more sales going and quit doing the customer service too. There are people better at that probably than you. He said, you want to go from doing everything, which we all start off as, to doing nothing. Nothing but your few vital functions. Then maybe even nothing but playing the visionary founder role. He said, you only get there by quitting everything as fast as you can. The reason why people don't grow beyond themselves and have a business that flourishes while still enjoying a great life is that they never learned to quit. He concluded by saying, you want to turn labor into leadership. As the enterprise leader, you should not be doing any labor. You should only be leading. The specialists who are hired should be doing the labor. And that is brilliant advice. I really hope that you got that right there. And that was also a profound epiphany for Dave. While he had kind of heard the general idea before, right there at the lunch table, it hit him like a ton of bricks right between the eyes. He finally realized why he was so exhausted, failing his family, failing his health, and why he had started to hate his business for it. It wasn't the business, it was him and how he was choosing to operate. You see, the thing about Dave's situation is probably a lot like yours. Dave, like Ken, started out solo and zero. He started out by doing most everything himself, like we all do. And he did start to generate sales, more and more sales. As he mentioned, he's on track to do $1 million in revenue this year. That's not the problem. The problem is he hasn't quit anything. He is still trying to do it all, and it's killing him and all the other areas of his life. The only thing he has quit on is, well, he quit working out. He quit being a good husband to his wife. He quit showing up for his kids. He quit being there for his friends. He quit on his other interests and quit having an actual life. He has become enslaved to his business and work schedule. Take note of this in your journal if you've got one handy. Financial success without a life is not success, it's failure. And Dave finally got that right there at the lunch table with the sound of the crashing waves heard through the windows. You can have both. You can have financial success and a life if you learn to quit and learn how to stick to your rainmaking vital functions. When he called me 3 weeks later, while he had only hired a part-time virtual assistant in the Philippines to do a lot of his data entry and marketing pre-qualification processes, he said just the understanding that his time needs to be worth $250 an hour has helped him make much better choices. He immediately saw how he was wasting time doing so many unnecessary things that he didn't have to do to support his vital functions. In fact, things no one needed to do, but he had fallen down the rabbit hole doing them anyway, which had been costing him so much time, potential, and life. He reported that now he has the time to work out. He's been on 3 date nights with his wife, home for dinner with the family 4 nights a week, and he's fallen back in love with his business because he's only doing the things that he's great at and those things that produce big results, which of course makes him feel great. He said, what's funny is the things I hated to do, those things that were stressing me out and made me want to leave this business entirely, I found that someone else loves to do those very same things. Everybody is happy, most especially my family. So, do you have the key lessons from this? Let me outline them for you again here. Number one, find out how much you are worth hourly by even minute by minute. I have a worksheet that you can download that gives you all the calculations so that you can figure it out for yourself. Number two, identify how your business makes money or what you get paid for as an employee of an organization, that vital function that you perform. Number three, identify the critical factors upstream responsible for generating those results, the rainmaking activity. Number four, identify the few vital functions you contribute to making those critical factors happen. And number five, then make them happen so that you can start quitting everything else. Now, if you're still sitting there with these questions buzzing in your brain, questions like, but I'm not sure what my vital functions are. I still need more guidance. Or I'm not sure exactly what things I should be doing and what things I should not be doing. What things I should delegate, how I delegate properly so I can trust somebody else to do an excellent job as I would. Or how do I find specialists to do these other functions? Where do I find them? What should I pay them? How do I vet them? How do I train them? How do I manage and oversee them so that they are highly productive? Or what if I'm so busy that I don't have time to find and train other people to do some of these functions? Do you have some of those questions that are burning in your brain? If you do, it's completely understandable. I would have had those questions back when as well. It was only after spending 25 years analyzing the methods of the busiest, the most productive, and the most successful people in the world that I learned their system for doing these things excellently. The key word there is system. It is not them doing it, it's them building a system that multiplies the output while reducing their individual time demands. That is how people you see with no particular genius, talent, intelligence, or background or education go on to earn and be worth 10 times, 100 times, or even 1,000 times more than the people that they grew up with or even went to high school with. They learned and used a system to scale growth of their personal results and business success. So, would you like to have that system? Learn how it works and how it could work for you in your life, in what you do? I deliver that complete system inside the Insane Productivity Training curriculum. And I detail for you how to make it work for you. All those questions that you have, all that guidance that you need, all the tools and all the systems that you need to build into your daily methodology are outlined and provided inside that program. Essentially, you're getting to buy 25 years of my life's work, collected from the best in the world, proven to work for me, and now tens of thousands of high achievers for 4 installments of $495. It's like having hired me for the last 25 years to take this epic journey to collect the answers to the test from far-flung regions all over the world, then apply the answers, ace the test, and then come to you and just hand you over the answers so that you can skip all the hard work of the research, the homework, and the study. Now you can just fill in the blanks with the proven answers for less than $2,000. 25 years for $2,000. You do the math. That means that you would have paid me less than 4 cents an hour. Geez, thanks. But because it is so comprehensive and the distillation of all the best of anything that's out there from 25 years of collection is why it's the only personal success training system you will ever need to buy. Now, enrollment is not open to the public, but because you are here with me right now and still here while you are on this page, it will be open to you. If you're interested, you might not be. It's up to you. Insane Productivity was designed specifically for those who desire to be great. And unfortunately, that's not most people. I know. But if that's you, I encourage you to act. I have 2 options for you here. Number 1, if you get it and you're an action taker, a decider like me, you can just click the enroll button below and get the success advantage you've been looking for. You'll have lifetime access to the program, so you can start it anytime and you can repeat through it as many times as you like. Number 2, if you feel you still need more information, you can click the insane walkthrough button below, and I will take you on a personal tour of all that is inside the program so that you can learn more. Pick a path. What you don't want to do is to not decide. Don't just click off here and go back to your email and your never-ending to-do list. Remember this, if you do not step forward, you will always be in the same place. To get to the next level of success, something has to change. As my mentor Jim Rohn would say, for things to change, you have to change. This is the lightning rod that can ignite the change in you and how you work and how you perform and the results that you can create. But hey, it's your life to live. You live it your way. If you desire to live greatly and are committed to further pursuing your greatness, then I certainly can help accelerate you, give you an unfair advantage in rising above your peers and wowing your family and friends, but only if you choose to be the exception. Pick your path below. Thank you for joining me.